What's up, everybody? So, I did not expect to be making this video tonight. In fact, I have been working on completing another video pretty much all day after an all-night stream, working, amongst a number of other things. This isn't a topic that I wanted to talk about by any means, but it kind of has to be at this moment because it's such a damn it's such a messed up situation. It's such a screwed up topic. Polarizing, just so many different words I can use for it at this moment. But a portion of it goes to the situation that we've seen earlier today, that I don't typically report on the news or review anything about government and all these other things, because of the fact that a greater deal of times I try to disassociate myself from it to some extent. But in this case, considering what happened tonight, it's just one of those things I kind of feel like I have to share with other individuals and kind of just give my whole 2 cents on it. So I tried not to keep up with the story of Kyle Rittenhouse. And this isn't even about him. The reason that I bring it up is because of the fact of what happened actually happening due to this situation. It's I'll get into that in a second, but if you don't know who this kid, this child is, essentially, at the age of 17 years old, during a protest, he decided to go across state lines with an AR to a protest, was seen with a number of militia groups and other things of that nature during said protest. Throughout the night, certain instances came about, and he ended up shooting and killing two men and wounding a third. Now, as of today, he was actually acquitted on all charges. All charges. Okay? How I feel about that doesn't matter. It's neither here nor there. But what it led to tonight is the fucking issue I have. So understand that there is a correlation in what I'm saying here. And if I have to go really deep into it, I have no issue with doing so. And in fact, if any of you have any questions or comments that you'd like to make on what I'm saying right now, please feel free. Go ahead. Leave those questions or those comments directly on this video. You can email me directly to the email that's attached to this account. As I said earlier, I've been working all day. I've been working on getting certain stuff done. Had a very long stream last night. I was planning on doing another stream tonight. And at some point in between that time, I needed to get up and get outside and actually, be out in the world and have something to eat as well. So I go to a place that I don't go to all the time, but I've been there enough, to know pretty much everyone that goes there, to know the individuals that work there, different things like that. And the reason why is because of the fact that I've known some of them from other places they've worked. As far as the people that go there, the same people go here typically all the time, whether I'm there or not. I have nothing to do, with how that business is, is run, but I know that these same individuals go there constantly. Also, um, it's a place where a lot of different people of a lot of different cultures and or ethnicities, I like to say, they go to. And the point to the place is to go have a good, dinner or hang out with friends, have a couple of drinks, go about your life. In fact, my ex and I had gone there a couple of different times during the time that we were together. And I could only have imagined, and I think this is one of those things that kind of just took me aback at that moment during all of this. I could only have imagined having have been there with her at that point and what could have potentially happened as well. So on walking in, I mean, everybody that knows me or knows me well knows that as soon as I walk into a place, I am looking at the scenario. I am reading the room. I am looking at entrances and exits and all sorts of things. And no matter how many times I go to a place, I always have that same instinct. And a lot of people that, you may or may not know in life do the same exact thing because of what our jobs have been in life. And I know that at this place, there's a lot of people who go here who are just like me on that, considering it's not too far from a base at that. Well, upon walking in, a couple of other friends were actually there, and we all ended up sitting together. And the immediate thing that we all noticed, especially when an older gentleman had to walk up to us and say, "Be careful," because these individuals over here at the bar, and we all saw them and just like, shit, shit, great. Three individuals, two at the end, making a total of five. Two at the end, not so much interlinked with the other three individuals at the center, but they're all sitting there and they're all wearing shirts that have specific things on the back of them. A flag that's not in the correct colors of the American flag or anything else, but of course their shirts all say Proud Boys on them as well. And if you don't know what that is, then I'd advise you to go ahead and take a look at that yourselves or whatever. You can look that up and figure out what that group's about. But during this whole situation, you know, you take a look around the place that you're in, and I think that we've all heard the terms of, you know, read the room, um, you know, have tact. And when someone says have tact, it's not meaning tact just as it conforms to like your work life or anything like that. It's your everyday life. Reading the room or reading the situation dictates whether or not you step into a situation or a scenario based on what's around you. Knowing that you're stepping into a certain place that may not specifically agree with what it is that you have on you is one of those things where you are, and I could care less. You all can say, "Oh, well, they have the right to." Goddamn right, they have the right to, except for when you make a scene. You have the right to go in any place, wear whatever, this, that, and the other. But what you have to understand is this here: that whole right and freedom to speech and you know all these other things, that plays on the government, not on a privately owned business. If you go into a place and you're actually interrupting or causing a scene or having belligerent issues or whatever the case may be, and it's a privately owned company, they have the right to tell you to leave. They have the right to ask you to change or to cover up or to turn your shirt inside out, whatever the case may be. It's their right to do so. And you have the right to conform or not. And if you decide not to, they have the right to ask you to leave. Understand what I'm saying here. You have a group of individuals who are simply out trying to have a meal, have drinks with friends, hang out, have a common bond with all the other individuals within the same location as you. It's that type of place. And you decide to come in knowing the type of place that you're stepping into, the greater ethnic groups in there are going to be of the minority groups. You know this. And the others that aren't of that minority group hang around these individuals constantly, whether it's someone that they date, whether it's a friend, whether it's a mutual friend, whether it's someone they met there, whether it's someone they work with, on and on and on and on and on down the line. And during that point in time, said individuals, I mean, personally, I even looked at it for a second. I said, you know what? I've had these conversations with other individuals before, as far as, those who are like white pride and all this other stuff. To me, I look at it and I say, you know what? You want to have pride in your ethnicity, your culture, so be it. I have no issue with it. What I have an issue with is when you decide to degrade or to belittle other individuals, other groups, because somewhere along the lines, you believe that you're better or superior to them. And mind you, a lot of the people in this place are, again, like me. They, in the extent of, having the ability to not only very well defend ourselves, but have a tendency to lose a bit of control when it comes to certain types of scenarios because of the scenarios we've been in. To you know what? I'll get to that in a second. But essentially, at some point, when you have other individuals that are in the location beyond the staff coming and saying to you, hey, you do realize that you're kind of causing a scenario here by wearing what you're wearing and saying some of the things that you're saying, and one of which was carrying a weapon. Now, let me explain something to you all. You have your right to have your guns, you have your right to arms. Fine, that is what it is. However, house rules dictate certain things. You might be able to walk into a Walmart with your gun holstered, shown in clear view, knives within the legal, length, I believe it's 7 inches or below, on your side. But when you walk into certain establishments, they do not allow that. And they don't allow it with reason. You have no right to attempt to argue against them otherwise. And in fact, as part of liquor laws in most states, you're taught these things. So these individuals were, you know, asked numerous times, numerous things. They decided to do what it was that they felt, and then have the nerve to get up, upset, walking out, looking back at an individual who's simply doing his job as an off duty officer who, they respect the police and law enforcement and things like that, ex military as well, also, but have the nerve to turn back and say, oh, I'll see you outside, you fucking pussy. It only proves the point that you had no business being there in the first place. And now to take it all the way back to what I originally started at with, with the whole Kyle Rittenhouse situation. I want you to take a look at the very optics of what you just did. You walked into a place knowing that, you know, a great deal of the staff and quite a few of the customers are going to be of quote unquote again the minority. You walked in armed. You walked in with apparel that clearly showed your opinion of these individuals. It's almost like walking in and saying, well, and I'm not going to say this is 100% of what they were saying, but fucking psychologically, if you all looked at this, it's like walking in and saying, well, God damn it, he did what he did. Essentially, I can too. And if any one of you get out of line for any reason, which, mind you, you're going to get fucked up no matter what. Like, I don't care if there's 3 or 5 of you and every one of you were toting weapons. You motherfuckers are dropping if you decide to pull a weapon in, in an establishment like that. But the bottom line to it is you essentially walked in and said, hey, well, shit, you got away with it. I can go about it, say and do whatever the fuck I feel like it. Or, I'm sorry, say and do whatever the fuck I feel like. And I'm going to be let go too because I can say it was in self defense, even though you antagonized the situation. All of you watching this out there, you can say that people have the right to their opinions, as I've said earlier. People can wear or do whatever they want. You're absolutely correct. But then again, I need you to look back to those things that I said before as well. Read the room. Understand the situation that you're walking into. Understand that your hatred, your ignorance, your hate speech, whether it's verbally communicated or through the clothing that you wear that say something on it. People don't have to abide by that shit. People don't have to put up with that shit. No one does. In fact, it makes you extremely ignorant to attempt to go out in that manner in a place where people aren't trying to dispute government policies or dispute, as you all call it, racial issues or any of the likes, simply to go out and enjoy their time after work, to have a break, to have somewhere to relax, to hang out, to be human beings amongst other human beings. Your hatred isn't fucking welcome. That's all there is to it. It would be like doing something like that is like walking into it would be like me walking into a flat out bar that I know is a bar for police officers, paramedics. I think because if you guys don't know, yeah, there are places like this, military bars, different things of that nature. That's just the case. Just about every city, every state has at least one. That's like walking into a place like that with a shirt on that says fuck the police. How smart is that on my behalf? Let's be real about it. How smart would that be? It's tactless, number one. Absolutely not reading the fucking room. And you know what? It comes to that whole standpoint of what do people go out for anymore? Do they literally go out just to antagonize, to start fights, to try and throw their viewpoints across a room of people who really could give a fuck less, except for the fact that you're simply disrupting the nature of what is supposed to be happening within said establishment? At this point, I'm going to stop. I'm going to leave this video here. But what needs to be said, most of all, anybody watching this, think. Fucking think. Beyond thinking, do better. Be better as individuals. Like, fuck. Like, too much of this shit is just absolute ignorance. And if you can't see that, then you have a problem. You have an honest problem. Anybody want to debate this with me? I'm the show Bullet 8. You can contact me. It is what it is. I have no issue with that. But damn, people, like, seriously, don't go out to fuck my night up because you might be in for just a very fucking rude awakening. I'm out.